Alright, everybody, welcome back. And today I would like to touch a little bit about the voting session and the voting capability on Mural. So basically, what I have here it's a very brief representation of what could be an ideation session, where supposedly you have a bunch of ideas and you have to choose a couple of them. So one of the methods that you can use here is either creating circle sticky notes, very little ones, and displace them besides the ideation area. But also one of the things that I would like to touch base today is the voting capability that Mural presents to us. So as you can see on the left corner, you do have the name of the the name of the mural that you are working on. You do have the undo, and then pretty much the third icon there, it's called voting session. So that's where you're going now. So by clicking there, you do have a few options, but only the first one is visible by now, and that's because you didn't have any voting session as of yet. But mainly the second option is to show the results page, and we'll get there in a few minutes. Then the show votes and delete voting sessions. So the one that we would like to start now is the start voting session. So I'll just click in there. And as you can see, the very first option is telling you to express what is that voting session for. So for example, the example that they gave here is most feasible ideas, and that's very nice. So let's just repeat that: most feasible ideas. And here you can select how many votes you want per person to vote. So let's just give it 5 vote points. And here you can also select who can vote or who can end the voting session. Usually we don't mess around with this, because if you allow any member to end the voting session, you as the facilitator of the workshop can get a little messy. So usually we only select the second option, which is just me and any facilitators in this mural. And right after that, we just click on next and the voting session will begin. So here, Mural is just presenting the participants how they can vote, how can they remove a vote, and it's just saying that your vote is anonymous. So that's very good. So let's begin voting, and at this time, whenever I click on anything on the page, it will count as a vote. So for example, this is an area, correct? So if I click in the area, you see that there's gonna be a vote right on top of there, and that's a misvote, right? So right before starting any voting session, I always like to tell the participants to only vote on what was agreed before. Whatever, if it's image or if you're voting on a sticky notes, like the case that we have here, the agreement is to vote in the sticky notes and not click around, because that would impact your voting session. But by any means, if you kind of voted in the wrong place, all you have to do is click on shift and click in the place that you voted, and as you can see, the vote just got back to me. Another option to do that is to click with the right click of the mouse, and you can add vote or you can remove votes as well. So that's another option. So let's for example, let's vote here. So I do have 5 votes. I can vote, I can put all my votes on a single post-it note, or I can distribute. So that's an option as well. And as you can see here in the very top, you see how many votes you have left. I've used all my 5 votes by now. And you see that there's only a person in this room. So as you progress in a workshop, there are like 20 people in there. It's very good for you as a facilitator to know, who didn't vote yet, or if they're having any trouble, so you can see all the participants and how many votes they still have left. And another good practice that we do is to set a timer for the voting session, right? Because this can get out of control if you don't set boundaries. But that's one thing. So let's suppose that each and everyone voted, and by the way, if the others are voting, they are not seeing your vote, which is another good thing because you are not influencing them. But that's pretty much it. So after everybody voted, all you have to do is end the voting session. And this is the button that if you change that first option that we discussed before, everyone will have the ability to end the voting session, and this is where you can get out of control. So always make sure, if you want, you can select that option, but always, if you want a more guided workshop, always make sure to only allow the facilitators to have this button, the end voting session. All right, so let's click in here, and as you can see, it's gonna display all the 5 votes that I did. But when you do on a workshop where there are many people voting, it's very nice because it's gonna show like which post-it notes they voted, which ones got the most voted points, and that type of stuff. So this is very cool. And when you close the voting session, this screen that you're seeing here is gonna appear to everybody. So all they have to do to close it is just click on the X. So if you're doing more than one voting session, which is very normal, you can create another one. So start voting session, and for example, let's say what is the wildest, not sure if that's a word, but let's try idea, and let's create another voting session. As you can see, all the votes from previously voting session cleared, so we are all good now. And I'll just give it 3 votes on one and 2 votes on another one. So as of now, I voted out all my points, so I'll just end voting session. And as you can see, it's only displaying to me the votes that I offered. Special bonus here, you can also go back and check on this very screen the last voting session that we did. So if you click here, you can still see the last voting session, and here you can see the current voting session that we are. If I close, you see the highlight votes here. So it's saying most visible ideas, which was the very first voting session, and the second one, what is the wildest idea. So if I switch here, you see that the votes is gonna switch as well. So this is very good to take notes. So if I'm counting like how many votes it took, I can just change it here. And for example, wildest idea, let's call that a B voting session. So I can just type in B3 and here B2. And if I switch back to most visible ideas, I can just type like A, let's see, A, and let's type A1, and that applies to all the voted post-its. So this is a very cool thing that we can do. And the other option, so the show results page is that very page that we were discussing before. So if you close that and you don't know how to open it up, just click on the voting session and just show results page. If you want to hide votes, you can just click in here and you will not see the votes anymore, and show votes pretty much doing the reverse. And the last one is delete voting session. So for example, if you're stacking up a lot of voting sessions here, you can always clean them up. So how you can clean that? You just click on delete voting sessions, and it's gonna show you a list of all the voting sessions that you did. So all you have to do is select that and click delete, and click delete one more time, and that's cleared out. So this is pretty much how the voting session function of Mural works. But if you want to stick to the old in-person workshop voting types, which is the dotted one, you can always create some circle dotted post-it notes, place it around the area that you are using, and just ask the participants to place a vote inside the post-it that they want. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.